with a sound will blow. Dance to the man who made the game flow. Paolo Maldini, name etched in stone. A king on the pitch, the Rossoneri phone. Defensive master, a wall on the field. Every tackle clean, no space to yield. Five-time champ, lifted the cup from 88 to 09. He never gave up. Loyal to Milan, blood red and black. Built the dynasty, never looked back. But now we talk about the men in the suits. Red Bird came through and they cut the roots. It's wicked, how you gonna disrespect a legend? Maldini's the best, present, future, he's ascended. It's wicked, the way you tore him down. But the Rossoneri faithful won't mess around. From left back to center, he played it all. Marking the best, from strikers to the ball. Messi, Ronaldo, they feared his name. Before they were stars, Maldini ran the game. Generations watched, from father to son. Cesare to Paulo, the legacy's won. But business boys think they know the score. You don't cut a legend just to balance more. What's loyalty worth in the modern scene? To Red Bird is nothing, cash rules supreme. But you can't erase what the fans all know. Maldini's the soul of the Rossonero glow. It's wicked, how you gonna disrespect the legend? Maldini's the past, present, future, he's ascended. It's wicked, the way you tore him down. But the Rossoneri faithful won't mess around. Yeah, they cut ties, but the love runs deep. From Milan to the world, Maldini we keep. You could take him out the office, but never our hearts. Red Bird played a game, but they'll tear us apart. Nah, respect the badge, respect the man. He built this house with his own two hands. From Baresi to Nesta, he led the way. Red Bird's mistake won't make him pay. It's wicked, how you gonna disrespect the legend? Maldini's the best, present, future, he's ascended. It's wicked, the way you tore him down. But the Rossoneri faithful won't mess around. So hear the chants in the curve and stood. Maldini forever, that's understood. Legends don't fade, they live on strong. Red Bird's wrong move will echo long. It's wicked, but the truth will rise. Maldini's greatness can't be disguised.
Buongiorno, ¿qué tal? Buenos dias, Calimera. What's happening, Milan Nation? It's your host, Nicko. I'm back with a special episode, the AKA Maldini Report. All right, that being said, I'd like to give a quick shout out to the following podcasters that have been, supporting the channel for quite some time. NLM Podcast with Gino and Max. Rosemary TV with Roy and the crew. Obviously, every subscriber that we had. We're up to like 168 right now. Not too bad. We're slowly climbing up the charts. Myself, Sugar Shane, Lab, Husney, we do this for fun, and we appreciate everybody's support. All right, with that being said, let's get down with the show. All right, so obviously Milan played Juve yesterday, Supercoppa over there in Rida. First half, overall, listen, it wasn't a remarkable game. A lot of other people broke this game down. We did win 2-1. Yildiz scored the first goal on a mistake from Theo. He made a diagonal run, trying to make this tackle, trying to intercept the ball, and misread the play totally. I don't know what he was doing. Yildiz got into the box, unimposed, high quality shot within the box, top right corner, banger. Nothing that Mike can do about it. Mike was in a good position. Broke this down on a tweet yesterday on Blue Sky. Oh, by the way, I'm done with X. It's all the BS, the drama, with other podcasters, other fans. It's gotten really messy. Don't have time for that nonsense. So I moved to Blue Sky full time. So follow me there from going forward. And I shared a quick analysis on that goal yesterday as well. All right, with a little clip. All right, so that's the game itself. And now we get to play our cousins, our snakes, on Monday in the final. Listen, if we play the way we played against Juve, and Juve is not the greatest team, they're struggling with Mota as well. The only difference between them and us, they will probably make some moves in January, some big moves. We're not going to make any moves, it looks like. I doubt it. Anything that's going to really change the club, the face of the club, or in terms of the lineup, right, that we have going on right now. All right, but on Monday, if we do play like that against Inter, if we get played against Juve, it's going to be an ugly game. It's not going to be pretty at all because Inter is clicking on all cylinders. They've hit their form right now, right? So, that being said, that's the game. That's the wrap up. Obviously, the other big news is Fonseca's out. Conceição is in, right? I know a lot of fans are excited about that, but I'll dive into it in a bit in the next segment. Why I think, right now, this is not going to fix everything that's wrong with the club, right? This is a systematic issue going on with the club, starting from management. But with that being said, let's get into Fonseca versus Conceição tactical differences. So both coaches play a 4-2-3-1, right? And Conceição is the one play a 4-3-3, right? Which we've seen that from Fonseca as well. So in that terms of a starting formation, not really anything big there, kind of the same thing. They both like to play a high line. More importantly, forget the high line for a minute, because high lines don't really make a difference if you play it right. If you're playing a certain kind of rush defense, transitioning after you lose the ball, that the high line is not a big deal. But the issue is with Fonseca, and I saw it with Conceição yesterday, they play two in the back, either a 2-3 or 2-5, whatever you want to call it. It's usually a 2-3, or sometimes 2-2, right? Your two midfielders sitting right in front of the two center backs. And you get your two wingers pushing up the field to attack, right, on the final third. The issue with Conceição's rush defense and Fonseca's, and I hope Conceição corrects it somehow, either puts a new right back in or sits one of the backs, either probably Royale sits him back and lets Thayer push up, forming that back three, who provides more coverage, because the issue with both coaches' rest defense at two in the back is when we lose the ball, especially under Fonseca, we didn't transition enough. Our transitioning was slow when we lost the ball to get into our set defense, and we got hit with the counter a lot of times, especially against really good teams that counter quickly. All right, and Conceição plays the same way. So I'm hoping to see some kind of tactical adjustment from Conceição, either having Royale set back or train his team to transition faster, to get that ingrained into their systems and fast, right? In terms of defensive formation, when they're falling back, they both play a similar 4-4-2. But what Conceição likes is really good at, he does employ formations like a 4-5-1, a 4-1-4-1 for that defensive compactness, which he showed against Arsenal in the Champions League last season, right? And we broke that down when we had the guys from MLM podcast as well on that mid block. The video is no longer online. It got flagged because I showed some clips from Champions League and got clipped and it was taken down. But what Conceição is really good at, compared to Fonseca. The fact that he does really know how to teach defense. So even with the offensive part being the same, the offensive tactics being very similar in terms of formations, maybe the way the game is played is a little different. Conceição is not as focused as on a tiki-taka type of football, right? He allowed the team to break the lines faster sometimes over the top. Allow Mike to pass the ball further up the pitch using that weapon that Mike has, right? Which we've seen a couple of times with Pulisic in the past. We've hit Pulisic on the run, things like that, or maybe Theo or somebody else. What I do expect Conceição to do differently is to teach these players to play a really good mid-block. That's number one. 2, fix these defensive mistakes. So defensive mistakes that I've noticed, that we all noticed actually, right? And this is going to take a lot quicker. It should be a quicker transition period to teaching these players, right? Besides his whole game, his principles, but his defensive tactic, his first positioning is the first one. We do see a lot of mistakes in the players on the way they position, the way they read their game. Now, Conceição and his assistant coaches, I expect them to correct these issues in training sessions. All right, the way they read the game, the way they position themselves, cover and balance, things we've talked about in the past, previous podcasts, right? Way they're marking their player, all right, when they're faced with the opponent is facing away from goal, things like that. That's the really big thing that I look for him to make, and also work on the transitioning from our rush defense to our set defense when we lose position. That's the other big one, like I said before, that I'm really looking at Conceição to correct within the first few weeks. So those are the things I want to see. Maybe we'll see it against Inter. Probably, I doubt, but maybe, hopefully, the first Serie A game. But putting tactics aside, right? Let's not get too excited about this hire. This is a 6 months hire. Right? Saudi turned it down because he didn't want to get into this mess. But Conceição is coming in on a 6-month contract at a very low wage, obviously, right? I'm not going to get into specifics. A lot of the people have done it before, and it bores me to get into that shit of financial stuff. But this is a smokescreen from Jerry. Whoever made the decision, publicly, they said it was Jerry's decision, but who knows what really happened, right? A lot of times we don't get the full story from, especially English-speaking media. They kind of don't share everything the Italian media has said. But to me, this is a smokescreen, a distraction, to distract the fans, to keep the heat off of Redbird. We've seen what's going on with the Curva Sud, with the protests and the chanting in the stadium, telling them they want him out, sell the club. But this is a tactical decision from Redbird to keep the heat off of Jerry and Ibra, Moncada, Furlani, right? Because what they've done to this club with their stupid comments the last few months, well, more than that, several months, especially this summer, and with the shit that went down with the Harvard business report, the way they ruined the fabric of the club, what the club means, the disrespect, right? They're hoping by hiring this coach that a lot of us wanted, including myself. I really wanted Conceição. I wanted an Italian coach, obviously, but that wasn't going to happen. So realistically, yeah, I said Conceição was a good hire when we were looking at him in the summertime. But if you look at the big picture, I doubt Conceição is going to have any power. I know Conceição, in terms of a player's coach, he's much more demanding. He's better defensively. He's a better defensive coach, which is important in Italy. But if he doesn't get the right people behind him, if Jerry doesn't clean house and bring in experienced people that know Serie A, that know Calcio, that know how to scout players in Serie B, in Serie C, in the smaller club in Serie A, and hopefully bring them to Milan. And really, really compete to get back into the Scudetto chase in the next few seasons. This hire will mean jack shit. Jack shit. Because two things are going to may happen out of this outcome. Either one, we're going to turn out like Man U, where we're running through coaches every single season. Right? And turn into a fucking mess. Or two, turn into Liverpool, right? Where they're going to win and be competitive despite of ownership. Those are the two possible outcomes out of this whole fucking mess. Because even Liverpool fans are not happy with their ownership at all. They're happy with the coaches they've hired. With Klopp, he did a good job, obviously. Slot's doing a really good job with them now, right? They're one of the best teams in Europe. But take your pick, guys. You can go down the Man U road going forward or down Liverpool road, that direction. And for the sake of the club, the sake of the fans, I hope ownership, especially Jerry, opens up his eyes, stops being so fucking ignorant and thinking he knows better than everybody else in European football. Yeah, he might have some good fucking ideas, like marketing and shit like that. But the true essence of football is about winning, especially in Europe. He doesn't get that yet. But he really wants to get there. He really wants to change this thing around. Either one, he's got to sell the club, which I doubt he's going to do anytime soon. Or two, which is much, much more possible, is clean house, fire everybody across the board. Poach people from other teams that are fucking know what they're doing in Italy. Poach people from Atlanta. Poach people from Roma, not even Roma, fucking Napoli, even whatever the case is. Teams that are successful in Serie A. Put that team together, give Conceição the right support. Get him players. We might have a chance. But for me personally, I want Redbird out regardless of what happens. I want Redbird out. I'm not fully behind this project until Redbird's out. I support the players. I support the badge. I support the colors always. All right. So I don't want to hear, oh, you're a fake fan. You got to support everything regardless. That's bullshit. All right. Let's be real. Because as long as Redbird's in charge, they will never respect what Milan means. All right. And even Roy from Rosenary TV, I got this quote from him. He made a really good point. Hire an intermediate coach. This is what they should have done, like what Roma did, and then bring Conceição in the summertime so players can start over. Too much drama surrounding the team. Really good point from Roy. Because you're putting Conceição in a bad spot too with all this shit. All the stuff that's been happening with the club, all the drama with the owner, all the shit with Ibra, Forlani, and on top of that, the way Curvasu's acting up, right? They're not happy at all. And a lot of the fans are not either. The people that show up to the stadium are not, probably a lot of them are tourists. They're coming in, plastic fans. People just want to see Milan for the first time. Don't have a real club, which is fine. It happens in every sport. I get it. But what we should have done is, like Roy said, brought in somebody temporarily, just like Roma, because like once Roma's coach Ranieri, he's done, he's going to put a new coach in. That way you give Conceição plenty of time to get his ideas through the team, not just the defensive stuff that I talked about, right? The defensive tactical adjustments, teaching proper positioning, cover and balance, how to play a really good mid-block, things like that. But his whole system, all his game principles, all his tactics. But instead, they rushed because they felt the heat from the fan base. And they said, fuck it, we need to do something to keep the fans off our fucking ass. And they did. They hired Conceição. Some fans are happy. But myself and fans that I know, we're not happy at all. All right? And that's totally fine. We can be unhappy and still support the club. All right. With that being said, let's see who's in the chat. What's up, Carmelo? Let's see. Ciao, Nicko. Conceição's choice time was just a desperate attempt to get a little relief from the discomfort that the protest causes. Nothing to do with football, 100%. Yeah, just what I said, Carmelo. And Ray, what's happened, Ray? Conceição deserves backing. Whether they will bring him in, whether they will back him is another thing. Like I just said, yep, 100%. All right. Let's see what kind of support he gets. Let's see if they get players that will fit his system. Or they're just going to start poaching players, just random players in January, which I doubt they're going to bring anybody in. Oh, I got to highlight. What's up, Nick? What's up, Abdullah? Good seeing you. All right. How you feeling, guys? Tell me, Ray, Carmelo, Abdi, tell me your feelings. All right. I know we've discussed them in the chat, but you can, if you have anything else to add about what's happening, put them in the comments. All right. All right, cool. So we went over the tactics, right? The smoke screen of Conceição being hired, all that shit. Now let's get into Mercato rumors. All right, so there's a couple names being thrown around. Obviously, nothing that I'm too excited about, but I really wanted to show something here. Let's bring it up. So the names being thrown around. The two big names that I've seen. Banda from Monza and Friendrip. So I threw this kid Preddy in from Cagliari because I like him too. He's Italian. He's a possible option. He's available in January. I doubt we're going to get him. I wanted to show you something. So first, let me show you. Let's do this. All right. So currently we have Afana, Reindeers. I didn't put Benny there because honestly I don't know what we're going to see from Benny. I'm not putting all my eggs into Benny yet because last time we did, Benny got hurt again. It was out for a significant amount of time. Last time we depended on him. I love Benny, but I don't know if we're going to get anything out of him. And he might be an injury away from being out again, right? For 6 months. So look, all right, so Tijani's in red. Fofana's in yellow, so he's more well-rounded, obviously, right? And listen, these stats are just a tool just to show something, right? It's not, it doesn't paint a complete picture of the player, but just to give you a quick look at each player's abilities, right? What they bring onto the field. And now we're looking at Banda. And I know some other Milan podcasts talked about him and said it was a good signing. I don't think he is. Because defensive actions don't really bring it up. He's almost in defensive action. He's right there with Fofana, duels with Fofana. But other than that, so for me, I'm not too excited about Banda. He's a nice little player. He knows Serie A, obviously. So he wouldn't take too much time to get acclimated right to the team. But to me, we need a more defensive-minded player. So the other names being thrown around, like I said, is Friendrip. Not the type of player that is going to change the face of the club. He's not going to take us to the next level. He's not a superstar. He's a good player. But one thing I do like about him, forget his age. Yeah, age is important as well. I don't care about his salary. I care less about money. But the really good thing about him is the defensive actions. Compared to Banda, he's at 52%. He's almost double on that, Friendrip, at 97. So if we're looking for a much more well-rounded, balanced midfielder, if we're playing with a 4-3-3 or even a 4-2-3-1, all right, starting, and we want more coverage, we want more protection for our fullbacks on those outer channels, right? Wide channels. When they're getting pulled, they're getting pinned in against those wingers. Friendrip is a much more makes sense for the team. And the fact that he's in Serie A. So he's not my first choice. Banda's definitely not my first choice. But if we're looking to balance out the midfield, bring somebody that can actually control the game defensively for us on the midfield and provide much more balanced defensive protection for our back four, especially our fullbacks. Friendrip's the signing that I want to see. Would I get excited about him? Is he going to take us a Scudetto anytime soon? Is he going to make us a better midfield than Inter has? Probably not. But Friendrip would be the first guy that I'd look at this January. Is it going to happen? I doubt it. Is Ricci going to happen? Probably not, because he just re-signed a long-term deal with his club. So they might be looking to ship him in the summertime to some EPL team. I could care less, but I don't think Ricci's coming to us either. So the most likely option for us, it makes sense, is Friendrip from Genoa. But we'll see what happens in January. But like I said, I doubt we're going to get anybody, because just looking at the reports from the club, the things they talked about, it looks like they're not going to spend anything at all, which is kind of fucking sad, but not surprising at the same time, the way they're running this club. All right, so that's our Mercato news. Hold on, let me take this down. Bam. All right. Let's get back to the chat. Let's get back to this next segment in a second. The defensive issues are taken care of. We are struggling up front and creating chances. Okay, so let me get to this first part. It seems to me the team, because of players' characteristics, can't find the necessary balance all around. If defense issues are taken care of, we're struggling up front and creating chances, and the other way around. That's from Carmelo. Names I read and the rumors won't change a thing. Yeah, listen, they won't. Even like a player like Friendrip. That's the first thing. We just showed his stats, right? Some of his not stats per wise, but graphical stuff, what he does on the field for us. what he could do for us, what he's doing in general. And about all the players that are rumored that were rumored to tied to, he makes the most sense for this club. But like again, like I just said, and you just said, Carmelo, it won't change a fucking thing. Would it make it more balanced? Would it bring more defensive protection for our fullbacks? Sure. We'll be able to win more balls, recover more balls, counter press better, have a better mid block, that 4-4-2 that Conceição likes to play. Sure. But he's not going to take us to a Scudetto winning team any soon, or even really competing in Champions League. Ain't going to happen. All right. In terms of defensive issues, like I said, I do expect Conceição to improve a lot of those things, especially the tactical stuff, tactical adjustments, to make some tactical adjustments and teach these players how to defend, how to position themselves better, the cover and balance, things like that. That's the thing I'm looking forward the most. But again, being that Redbird runs his fucking club, we're not going very far. Like I said, there's two avenues you can go down. Man, you fucking away, going down that path. Where we're seeing you coaches every few seasons, or Liverpool way, winning despite ownership. We'll see what happens. But I'm still Redbird out always, regardless. This having a new coach is not going to change my mind about ownership. Fuck them. All right. So, obviously, I called this pod the AKA the Maldini Report. So let me kind of get into it. So I was called a Maldini supporter because I really pushed the fact that Maldini he had every right to not show up to the 125th anniversary, right? I was very strong about that on X, on social media, that he had every right not to show up the way they treated him. And some people thought he should have shown up regardless. He's a club legend. He should have showed his face. And I said, no, he shouldn't have. Some people got upset, calling me, hey, you should change your name of the pod from the Milanista report to the Maldini report because you love Maldini so much. And you're anti-Milan. So I thought it was kind of funny. So to the other Milan podcaster out there that, made that suggestion for the name of the fucking podcast, here you go, the Maldini Report, just for one day. That being said, let me cue something up and get to the Maldini tribute. All right. So let me push this up. First things first, let's do this. Hold on, fellas. Then I get you into my top 5 moments, but I want to pull up this video. And let's get into some Maldini's highlights. All right. So I don't want to get clips showing too much of this video for copyright issues. There's some little video tribute to my favorite player ever to wear the Milan jersey, the red and black. Favorite footballer of all time, Paolo Maldini, the GOAT. All right, and then the next thing I wanted to bring up, let's see if we can pull this up. My top 5 moments of Maldini. All right, let's change the screen here. We don't need to see my face. So first one is obviously his debut as in the Milan jersey against Udinese. Coming in for Sergio Battistini, who got injured, right? So that was his first time coming in, marking that 25-year journey with Milan. Second one is winning Scudetto, his first Scudetto in 87-88 under Sacchi, under that fucking amazing team. Number 3, 2007 Champions League victory. Revenge against Liverpool, 2-1 victory in Athens. And obviously that one is special to me, being that was held in Athens. Now let me get rid of this caption here because this is pissing me off. There we go. All right. So that 2007 Champions League final win. First, obviously, defeating Liverpool, but more importantly, the fact that it was played in my parents' home city of Athens, Greece. That's really something I'll never forget. And obviously, number 4 is his last match at San Siro, May 24th, 2009. Obviously, there was, some shit went down with the curva. But to me, that's ended his 25 years of wearing that red and black against Roma. And obviously, number 5, him being in the director and helping us win that 2021-22 Scudetto, right? Him coming back as director in 2018, had this vision, along with him and Masada and Pioli, put together that team that won their first Scudetto in 11 years. So those are my top 5 Maldini moments. All right. So I want to hear from the chat. What's your favorite moments of Maldini? If you have, put them in the chat. Let me know. I want to hear it. I know, Carmelo, you've watched this club for a long time, so I'm sure you have a ton of fucking moments of Maldini, favorite moments. I want to hear them from Carmelo. Who else? Ray, if he's still in the chat. Abdi, I know you're a newer fan, so you may not have anything to talk about Maldini. Excellent point. Really good point, Carmelo. When you support Maldini, you support all things that AC Milan means. It's the concept, idea that Maldini has that needs to be supported. So, yeah, you can support Maldini and still support the club. It goes hand in hand, in my opinion. I don't care what anybody else says. It's about supporting. Yes, Maldini is, in this case, bigger than the club itself. And the difference is Maldini, forget the fact what else, whatever. The biggest thing he brought to the club as a director, it was his relationship with the players. His relationship with Theo, the credibility he had, the juice that he has in Europe, the juice that he has with current players. You can't. That's something that Ibra will never have. Will never touch. All right, we'll get into about 40 minutes into this pod. So, all right, fellas, everybody in the chat, if you have any questions, comments, here's your time. All right. Any questions about any upcoming players? My thoughts on that? Any questions about what I think the future of this club is under Redbird management? Any comments? How you feeling about the game against Inter? Things like that. Let me know. And then we'll wrap it up. All right, so let me see. From Carmelo, my favorite Maldini Moments. Let me pull it up here so everybody can see it. Is outside the pitch, and that's him standing up against the shit that Curva wanted him to get involved into. Yeah, listen, he was one of the few players, right? I know the Curva has a reputation as being thugs, having a rough reputation, right? Of intimidating players and whatnot, all the other shit that they're tied to, or rumored to. I don't want to make any allegations. But yeah, Maldini was one of the first players that I know in my lifetime, maybe the only one that really has stood up to them. All right. And to this day, you could tell Curva is they haven't forgotten that Maldini stood up to them. And the fact that, when Maldini got fired, they didn't really make a big deal about it. Didn't really protest. None of that shit. Yeah, there's so much. I mean, dude, Carmelo, he was with the club for almost 30 years. 25, right? So, for me, I could have chosen 20 top moments, but I needed to shorten it down, so I just chose the top 5. Obviously, I wanted to, couldn't leave out the 2007 Scudetto, the 2007 Champions League. Couldn't leave out his first appearance in the club. So let's highlight Carmelo's stuff here. Carmelo's pretty active. He's been a fan for a lot longer than I have, for sure. I started watching Milan, passionately, since 2006. I picked the cup lifting in 2003. Yeah, it's a big one too. Yeah, there's so many fucking special moments with Maldini. And I doubt we're ever going to see a player like that has that kind of impact. Forget about years with the team, because you're not going to see players like that ever again. Or like players like even the EPL, they've had players that stay with the team for a long time, right? Other clubs as well in Spain, shit like that. But talking about Milan, our club, we're never going to see a player like that, especially in my lifetime, especially a defender like that. Yeah, we have Cha, we have Gabbia. They're all good defenders. They're not world class. They're not excellent. They're good. And to me, Gabbia is the most complete center back that we have, because he reads what the game is the best. All right? Out of everybody. He's much more composed. He knows how to, he's more of a leader in that back line. For what it means for all of us, Inter and Juve beat in the semi and final as Milan support. That was the best thing ever for me, at least. Yeah. Good stuff, Carmelo. Thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it, dude. All right, so we're cutting into about 50 minutes here. I got work. It's 8:30. I got work in a little bit. I'm gonna grab myself a coffee, get ready for work because I'm working on Saturday, and then tomorrow I'm off and I'm heading to the beach. It's a little private beach down the way. It's about a 25-minute ride. They got everything there. They got umbrellas, chairs. Just got to bring some food, drinks. Yeah, that makes sense. Baresi too. Fuck. I mean, so that's another thing we don't have either. We had Baresi. He took Maldini under his wing, right? And Baresi is another long-time Milan player. That's the one thing that this ownership does not understand. With this money ball, this zealous analytics, whatever the fuck you want to call it, is that you need a senior player to take younger players under their wing to mentor them, to teach them the finer points of the game, to teach them little tricks, the black arts of the game. And more importantly as well, is to teach them how to get through certain tough moments in certain games, especially if we're playing in a derby, if things might be getting heated, how to stay composed, things that you cannot be, another player at your same level cannot teach you that because they don't have that kind of experience. But a veteran player, even if they're foreign, even if they haven't played in Syria, are able to teach you these things, to mentor younger players. And we don't have that. And that's what Baresi to me was extremely important in Maldini's development as well. And other players as well, I'm sure, on that club. You know, Baresi was a mentor as well. Yeah, definitely. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell to continue support this channel. All right. Thanks, Milan Nation. Yeah, that's huge too. That shows a lot of commitment. I'm sure, you know, him and Maldini were on that same level in terms of commitment to the club. For sure. And another thing, you tell me if I remember right, Carmelo, tell me if I'm wrong on this. I was watching a documentary a little while back. And I'm guessing before he came into Milan, Baresi, he was offered a tryout with Inter. I saw this on a doc, so I don't know if it was accurate, but I'm sure you could tell me if it's right or not. And when he tried it for Inter turned him down. The scouts looking at him, right? The coaches noticed he was too small. He wasn't athletic, a little too slow. Didn't really notice his how fucking intelligent of a player he really is, right? Because that's what really stood out for Baresi. Baresi didn't have all the physical advantages, right? But what really stood out from Baresi, he knew how to read the game. He was 3 or 4 steps ahead of the opponent. He was good on the ball too, in terms of speed, in terms of height. And Inter saw this and they turned him down. They said, "Fuck, we're gonna do with this kid. He can't play, you know, senior football." So yeah, obviously he came to Milan. We signed the kid at the time, Baresi, and the rest is history. I think that's the way it went down from that documentary. But Carmelo, everybody else in the chat, yeah, I want you to confirm that as well. All right. So I got somebody hit VCT 607. I don't know if you're trolling or what, who you are. I've never seen you, but welcome to the show. Thanks for locking in. What do you think of Conceição? So I went over it before in the beginning of the pod. VCT. He's in terms of formation, why he plays exactly like Fonseca in every way. 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, high line, 4-4-2, mid block, whatever. So in terms of that, it's all the same. But what I expect, what I do think Conceição offers better is he's a much more of a leader. He's got a stronger personality with the players, and is going to be able to teach them how to defend. It's going to make tactical adjustments on the defensive side and teach and fix these defensive mistakes that they're making in terms of reading the game, and things you can work on during training sessions, positioning, cover and balance, all that shit. Yes, I was right. Yeah. So Daka was correct. His brother was there, so he tried, but Inter failed him. So luckily for us, exactly. Yeah. Didn't imagine if Inter would have got him. You know what's even crazier too, Carmelo? So there was, I'm sure you know. Yeah, you're right on this one. Because I remember the same thing from the doc. But another crazy thing too, it was this other guy. I forgot what team he played for. There was another center back that played for Italy. He played for Juve, maybe. Skidea. He passed away young. He passed away in his 30s, I think, right? So Skidea, he played the same time as Baresi. Same position, all that stuff. He kept Baresi off the national team for like a few years, which is nuts. So, Baresi was amazing, but Skidea was right there with them too. And Skidea doesn't get enough love either from the fan base a lot. I mean, people who know the game, historians, people who really dive into the shit, dive into the game, know the name. But, when it comes down to, Skidea is another name too that, one of the top defenders. Yeah, excellent player. Before my time, obviously. All right, Milan Nation. Cutting into about an hour, 52 minutes. I'm going to cut this pod. Thanks for tuning in, as always. Love everybody out there that's been supporting us from the beginning. All right. Always Forza Milan. And let's see what happens on Monday. I'm closing out this show with a special track for all the other Milan podcasters that just the haters out there, the ones that try to, act all tough online and say just dumb shit, dumb comments, trying to engage. All right. Ciao, Carmelo. Ciao, everybody else in the chat. All right. Just stay tuned for the next few minutes for this closing track. I'm out.
Yeah. It's the Milanista report, check the vibe. These fake podcasters out here switching sides, acting tough on the net, but we see through the game. Red Bird bought y'all out, now you're living in shame. Damn, it's a shame what I'm seeing online. Fake Milan fans crossing the line. First they back Maldini, now they back Suits. Red Bird cut the roots, and y'all salute. Selling out for clout, y'all switch too fast. Acting tough on the mic, but we know you trash. Keyboard warriors, spitting weak stats. Your loyalty's thinner than a podcast ad. You praised Paulo when the winds came through, but when the board flipped, you flipped too. Talking big like you're built for the scene. but your takes are faker than your Twitter meme. No loyalty, just clout and cash. Fake podcasters talking, but they won't last. Redbirds payroll, yeah, they bought your pride. Real Milan fans, we ain't letting it slide. Yo, let me break it down for the fans who care. Maldini's legacy, you can't compare. Y'all sat silent when they axed our king. Now you're out here defending Redbird's bling. Talking tough like you know the grind, but your knowledge of tactics is borderline blind. Stay behind the mic throwing weak disses, but in person you're soft as your fake kisses. Big talkers, but you ain't got the spine. Real fans bleed red and black, not dollar signs. You sided with suits and now you act bold. Your credibility's cheaper than the lies you sold. No loyalty, just clout and cash. Fake podcasters talking, but they won't last. Redbirds payroll, yeah, they bought your pride. Real Milan fans, we ain't letting it slide. Now you tweet like kings, but y'all ain't the crown. Redbird puppets just dancing around, claiming you're Rossoneri, but we all see through. Real fans know you ain't got a clue. Y'all roll Maldini's name for the hype. Now you trash his legacy. What a sight. Fake opinions just chasing clicks. The streets don't forget when you play these tricks. Yeah, I said it, y'all ain't real like us. Redbirds lapdogs, stirring up dust. You ain't built for this, just chasing fame. Throwing shade at real fans, stay in your lane. We hold it down from Milan's pride, from the Curacao chants to the worldwide ride. But you just pawns in a corporate scheme. No loyalty, no love for the team. So keep talking tough from behind your screen, but we know the truth, y'all ain't what you seem. This is for Maldini, the fans in the crest. Real Rossoneri put the fake to rest. No loyalty, no respect, just fraud. We see through the lies, so applaud your facade. Peace to the real ones, y'all know the deal. Fake podcasters, you'll never keep it real.